Hey, what's going on, guys? Garden Shed here, and welcome. So, today I thought I'd do a bit of a review on Katie, which is a 2016 Kawasaki ER6-F, and I will be doing this from an A2 perspective because although I had a limited a couple of weeks ago, most of my riding has been on an A2 license with her. An absolute lover. She's brilliant. So I'm just on my way to go get some camera shots. We'll have to see how she turns out, but there could be a lot of shit on the road where I'm going. The Kawasaki is a brilliant A2 bike, in my opinion. You know, I've ridden a Yamaha XJ6 A2 Limited, a Suzuki SV650 A2 Limited, and a Kawasaki ER6-F and a Kawasaki ER6-N. So I have had a little bit of experience on A2 bikes, and this is my favourite, and the reason for that is, well, there's a couple of reasons really. I found that this is better for shorter riders. The XJ6 actually had to be lowered, or the one I rode was lowered, and without it being lowered, then I think a lot of people may struggle to ride it. With this, you know, my inside leg is about 30 inches I think on trousers, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I can touch the ground with both feet, which is what you want when you're learning, but she's nice and stable. She's not unpredictable, which is great when you're learning to ride it. And the thing I've found about this model, rather than the sort of, is it the pre-2012 versions, before they revised it, was the fact that the handlebars are a lot wider and they're not as angled, which I found is actually a lot easier when you're learning your slow speed manoeuvres, things like that. I found with longer bars it's much more controllable. But yeah, she's no frill, she's really comfy. I've done 400 miles in a day on her. A little sore. The one complaint about sort of seating and stuff like that, I would say, is the saddle tips you slightly towards the front, just very slightly. So on a long journey you sort of after a while make a conscious effort to shift your weight back, but that's not a problem. In the grand scheme of things, that's really not a problem. It's not an issue at all. I would say that, but the seat is ever so comfy. It's not as comfy as my 125. I would say it's the comfiest of the SV and the XJ6. The gear gauge is nice and clear. The one thing it's missing, which they revised in the 2017 models, is there's no gear indicator, and while you can get one as an optional extra, you can't have it while you've got the A2 restrictor kit fitted. That is one negative. The mirrors are good once you get them set up. I think people with a slightly bigger build than myself will find it a little bit more difficult to get the mirrors set up where they can actually have good visibility, but I haven't had an issue. You know, I could just see the tips of my elbows in my mirrors. Other than that, they're brilliant. Wow, there is some shit on the roads. Brakes, thankfully, I haven't had to test the brakes to the extent that the ABS has kicked in, but they seem perfectly good. There's nice, smooth power delivery. It has got a lot of low down torque. I'd say the torque's particularly low down. Once you get to about 8,000 revs, it starts to peter out a little bit. But when I say it's got lots of torque, I'm not talking like MT-07 torque or MT-09 torque where it wants to chuck itself on the back wheel. It's a nice, manageable level of torque, which is great. Foot pegs, I would say, are fairly close, especially on the older models. They're a little bit higher up, but nothing to cause any discomfort at all on a long ride. The one complaint I did have with mine was the sound of it. The exhaust just sounded cheap, didn't have a nice note to it, although some people said it did. So as soon as I passed my full license, I had my Akrapovic fitted, which is brilliant. But yeah, all in all, I would say a really good first big bike, nice and stable. The one thing I would say, if it is your first big bike, I went for the ER6-F, the third version. The ER6-N the naked version, I would probably have gone with that. Just a little bit less weight. This is a very heavy bike when you're moving it around. Unfortunately, I have a gravel drive, so it's really heavy. Wow, these roads are shitty. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you ever so much for watching, and take care.